Good evening and welcome to the June 9th, 2026 Town Board Work Session. If we could all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. And Tony, could you lead us, please?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And if we could have a moment of silence as we remember all of those who fight for our freedom, as we just passed the 82nd anniversary of D-Day and Operation Overlord, which really earned the greatest generation the respect they get today. Thank you. So we are going to do a couple things out of order today, so I apologize about that. I am going to first jump into personnel. With regret, I am going to accept the resignation of Anthony Tony Tripalti on our Zoning Board of Appeals. Tony, step up to the mic for a second, if you don't mind. Now, as I remember correctly, it was not only ZBA, but didn't you do a stint with planning too?
I did.
Any other time you had to serve in Yorktown?
School board?
School board too. And how long did you serve on our town volunteer boards?
About 20 years.
20 years? Well, we will make sure we double your pay for those 20, and you'll pay it out in back pay on your way out the door.
And could I get a bonus as well?
Yes, we'll do a triple time for that.
salary.
Yes.
You know what we could also do for you? We could give you a raise, make you work on the roof.
I'll fall off.
All right, no roof. We don't need a lawsuit.
Well, Tony, it's been great. I've actually known you since I bought my house in Yorktown, because you did my closing back then,
Oh, boy.
many years ago. I think that was '98 when we finally purchased something.
Right. I remember now.
Yeah, so it's very bittersweet, but I'm so glad that you're able to enjoy things a little bit, and I believe moving down south.
Tennessee.
Tennessee, that is down south. Yeah.
Say hello to the Gilberts down there, please.
Oh, I'll look them up.
You going to become a country western star?
I seriously doubt it.
Okay.
Do you at least own a Stetson?
Yeah, I'm going to have to, huh?
You're going to have to get one.
I think it's
You'll look good in it. You get a convertible caddy,
Yeah, look
and get the cow horns on the front,
Oh, yeah,
the
definitely.
steer horns. You'll be
I can see it, you know?
you'll be set. Well, Tony, I thank you for your service, your time in. We do have a certificate not down here, so I will call you and we'll have some coffee, and
Sounds
we have a
good.
certificate thanking you for your time with the town of
I'd like to
Yorktown.
thank the board because I enjoyed my public service.
Well, you were excellent at it. You were part of the speed team in ZBA. I remember showing up 8 minutes late for a meeting when I was a liaison, and it was already over, and the front door was locked. I wish we could run meetings like that. We just have to teach the rest of the board. But I thank you immensely for everything you've put in, and I thank your wife and family for freeing you to do that, because you've really made an impact on the town.
And I want to thank the board for the opportunity to serve. It's definitely worthwhile.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tony.
Thanks so much.
Lots of luck to you. Enjoy your
Yes. So let me hit the rest of my personnel. First, we want to appoint Janie Barrera, maintenance worker, mason, and motor equipment operator at an annual salary of $70,919 in our highway department. You know what? Let's take a vote on that. These we'll need to do individually since I'm reading it. Do I have
Second.
all in favor? Aye. All right, and I have two to read in. Be it resolved that Matthew Fuller is hereby appointed conditional police officer in the town of Yorktown Police Department from eligible list number 612780, effective June 24th, 2026, to be paid the contractual salary of $53,243 annually. Be it resolved that the said appointment is hereby made contingent upon the applicant's successful completion of all mandatory medical and psychological testing and remains conditional pending final Westchester County Human Resource approval. And be it further resolved that this appointment is subject to the probationary period not less than 12 nor more than 78 weeks commencing on the first date of appointment on June 24th, 2026. I have a motion.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
He's a great kid, too.
Yep. We've had quite a few of them come through, which is really nice. That's our fourth fresh into the academy hire, which we haven't had anyone in over 4 years. And that time we've taken 19 transfers. Yep. Retirement reinstatements, and it's nice to see, or resignation reinstatements, and it's nice to see some young Yorktown kids coming in and serving our community. My next one, whereas the town board authorized the implementation of a new payroll management system through ADP on June 17th, 2025, which is necessary to improve payroll administration, processing, reporting, compliance, and operational efficiency. And whereas the implementation of the ADP payroll system constitutes a complex town-wide undertaking involving more than 500 active employees, requiring the conversion, validation, and reconciliation of substantial historical payroll, personnel, and benefits records, as well as coordination with all employees, department heads, ADP representatives, as well as external vendors. And whereas the town board has determined that the designation of a temporary project lead is necessary due to the extraordinary scope and workload associated with the implementation in order to coordinate responsibilities required to ensure the successful implementation of the ADP payroll system, now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby designates Rachel Scarano to serve as project lead for the ADP payroll system implementation project, effective back to January 1st, 2026, when this all started. And be it further resolved that the project lead, under the direction of the town controller, shall be authorized to 1. Coordinate implementation activities with ADP and any related vendors, consultants, and third-party providers. 2. Facilitate communication among town departments participating in the project. 3. Assist in the collection, review, validation, and conversion of payroll and personnel data. 4. Coordinate system testing, training, and implementation schedules. 5. Perform such other project-related coordination duties as may be necessary to complete the implementation of the ADP payroll system. Be it further resolved that the town board hereby authorizes a temporary project stipend in the amount of $5,000 per calendar year, payable on a prorated basis for the actual period during which Rachel Scarano performs the duties of project lead, including any partial calendar years in which such service was performed. And be it further resolved that for the purpose of this resolution, the project shall be deemed complete upon final implementation of and transition of payroll operations to the ADP payroll system. And be it further resolved that such stipend shall constitute additional compensation for the temporary assignment of project coordination responsibilities and shall not be deemed a permanent increase in the employee's wages. I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
I think maybe you want to explain, it's been a while since we decided to go to the ADP system, what that entails and how in the long term it's going to save money because of the efficiency.
Janelle, would you like to step up to the microphone real
I think
quick?
the residents would be interested in that.
Hi, Janelle.
Hello. Sorry for my voice. Yeah, we are implementing ADP payroll software, which will also include townwide for all employees. So it's going to revamp our entire system, which is all manual right now. Everything is paperwork and multiple paperwork where departments are handling paper and then it's sent to us in paper. So the employees will have access to all their time sheets and their records, their W-2s, their direct deposit information, all online. Onboarding will be done online. So we'll streamline the entire process from beginning to end. And it's a extraordinary amount of work, but once we get it up and running, the possibilities of what it entails is definitely going to streamline the services, so that way it will not be so many repetitive things that we're doing, and we'll make it more accurate and efficient for everybody.
Data retrieval will be much easier.
Oh, much easier.
Right.
And the data entry itself.
Explain to us how, when was the current system that we're using that you just described, when was that implemented?
So the KVS software that we're using right now for payroll, prior to that, I forget, they had something called InfoPay, but the one that we're using right now has data back to 2003. So it's 23 years of data. When we transfer the data, we'll be bringing 7 years of historical data, and then the rest of the data we'll have to archive. I mean, plus we have manual records back to the beginning of time because payroll will required for retention to keep it forever.
And the new system will have a cloud portal and all the modern,
absolutely.
all the modern features that
All the
we've
modern
come to-
features, yeah.
We've come to.
Yeah, it will
used to.
totally take us into the 21st century finally. So, like I said, I mean, when I started 10 years ago, when I was brought in, we were supposed to, revamp everything, including the accounting software. That we've had some issues because it's very hard for municipal software, but at least we figured with ADP, because they're well-known and they're nationwide and the resources that they have, we figured at least we would get that part implemented, and no matter what accounting software we switch to, we'll be able to work it into to the new accounting software when we get to
It'll
that.
integrate.
Yeah, it'll integrate, yes, with anything, so we know. And we're always nervous having this old software that's 23 years old and not a lot of support with it anymore. That like one day we're gonna come in and it's not gonna work, and then our employees are not gonna be happy when they can't get paid, so,
You sure?
yeah.
I thought a lot of them were here just for the the fun.
So, so it's an exciting project, but it's a huge undertaking, so we appreciate the support to get the backup that it needs. And kind of like I explained, it's nice to bring the next generation in, for Rachel to take it forward, and if we keep this platform for another 23 years, that will take probably Rachel almost to her retirement, so.
And then she'll teach someone the new
Then she'll
system.
teach someone new.
So, well, we got the new phones, we
New
got
phones,
security,
Security cameras.
we
and now
got
we're
and
doing
now
payroll.
this. Plus, we revamped all our computers, so we've been.
Yes, yeah,
we're-
we brought all the computers up to date, and we're working on, with all the departments, get new servers, we keep up to date on all of that stuff, so.
And the town clerk and I are working on a project to maybe bring some kiosks into the building to help facilitate people with what they need to do. So, some exciting
Yeah.
stuff going on.
Yeah.
And you've
lot
done a
of
lot of work at
projects.
the museum too.
Yep.
So we're coming into we might be in the 20th
I
century
know,
now.
we're moving on up.
Maybe.
So,
Yes. Well, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you for your support. Thank you.
Good job.
21st century.
No.
No, we have a lot of
No,
catch
we're
up
in the
to do.
20th. We still need to
Right.
get to the
Catch up.
21st. I
Right.
knew what I was saying.
Okay.
We're getting off paper payroll. I think that went out in the 1950s for the most
Okay.
part. All right. So we have a discussion that we jumped up front to try to move them along for Jefferson Village. I know there's an emergency culvert replacement. Wayne, do you want you and your team to come up, and Heather, if you could join us too?
Since I'm a resident of Jefferson Village, I have to recuse myself from this.
Susan will call you at game day about 10 minutes before. Don't have too many margaritas, okay?
I don't know what's happening where I live.
Good evening. My name is John Carell. I'm a professional engineer, and I'm dealing with the pipe replacement in kind. It is a corrugated metal pipe that's 4 to 8 feet deep, and it's totally shot, rusted. It has to be replaced, and we're going to replace it with PVC pipe of the same size. How are we going to do this? There's 2 pipes side by side. We're going to put some sandbags in between the two pipes so that you can divert the flow of stormwater into one of the pipes, all of the stormwater, and then replace the existing pipe, the other existing pipe. And they're gonna do it, we're gonna do it in two pieces so that we don't block traffic forever. And then once we do the one pipe, then we'll go back to the other pipe and do it the same way, half and half, so the traffic can go by.
All right. So Heather, why don't you come up? Did you read through all of the stuff on the general permit that they had?
Yes, so it's, the permit that they have is only for dredging of 2 of the ponds and for general maintenance activities.
Right.
So replacement of the culvert would not be considered a general maintenance activity.
So the question I have, though, I know the general permit allows for administrative approval on a project like this. Is it possible to include this on an administrative permit? Because it sounds very similar to what we're doing over at, or what they're doing at Trump.
Yes, yes, so it should be, it's something, but we do need to, we don't have any plans on it at all. So
Okay.
we need to see plans, we need to see it in writing of what you're gonna do, the bypass plan in writing, because, you know, what's gonna happen, how long is it going to take to replace one side, and, you know, wet weather events to make sure everything is going to, the
Sure.
bypass will handle it.
So I think though the main thing that I'd like to see is if we could go administrative, then they deal with you. They don't have to wait on the meeting schedule.
Correct.
I think that this is non-invasive, so to speak, and like I said, similar to what we're doing at or what they're doing at Trump Park. So
Yes.
I guess I would look at the board and say, is everyone
this-
comfortable with that?
Yeah, this needs to be expedited.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're being
the faster the
proactive.
better. You know, let's get it done. And just one question for you on I'm good. I'm good with making it administrative because it's going to streamline the process. It's going to
Yep.
speed it up for everybody. And at the other culvert that the supervisor referenced at Trump Park, that what they're doing is they're actually inserting a pipe inside the current corrugated, rotted out, blah 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 pipe. You guys aren't doing that.
Yeah.
They're putting in a sleeve.
But it's a corrugated metal pipe, and it was round. Now it is not. It's kind of oval. And you're not going to be able to put a pipe.
Okay, so you can't do that. I got you.
Size.
No problem.
Okay.
Okay.
You're the engineer. I'm just asking. I'm just trying to get
I
clarity.
think
You know?
so. Yeah.
You think so?
So Dwayne and Charlie, I think that streamlines your process and should save you quite a bit of back and forth.
Well, we'd just like to thank the board for this because there's a lot of people, as you know, at least 1,500 people that's depending on this, and it's really an emergency situation because if that COVID goes, I mean, I could see something really horrible happening. So we really appreciate you.
Get it done.
And let me know who I have to talk to, who I have to kill to
See
get
that,
this done
that
right
lovely
away.
young lady right there?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
See this guy?
I'm the one you killed. You can talk to her. So just get some plans in. You guys should be able to move at full speed on this, and bon
you so
voyage.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Oh, Diana, do you need a vote on that for the administrative, or,
I would.
you know what, let's, well, no, well, we could let it go administrative.
Why don't we put a resolution on them,
Okay, that's fine.
all laid out?
All right.
I just have one other thing to say. Dan who? Dan who? I don't know. I already forgot
Yeah,
about
that's
Dan.
All right.
We did one of
Good
these
job.
we did one of these culverts in 3 hours today. 3 hours.
All right.
30 feet.
I will put together
On Broad
some
Street.
kind of a plan,
Guess it doesn't need to be
maybe
this
from the
complicated.
old subdivisions,
Very simple.
and I will do an engineering report explaining how we're going to.
Just touch base with Heather. It's way too technical for me.
I used to be the town engineering firm. just so
Okay.
you know.
Oh, they're having a lot of problems with all their culverts.
Thank
aren't
you.
they?
Thank you so
Carmel's a
much.
mess, but yeah.
Thank you so much. All right. We are now going to get into our presentations.
I'll wait for Susan.
Oh yeah, get Susan Mike.
You sure?
We could have been done with the meeting. Jim,
Motion to adjourn.
We have Norwest Special Rec.
Just really quick before I bring up our special guest here today, we do have a watch party for the next game tomorrow night at Jack DeVito
No,
Field,
no bus stop
Veterans
signs
Plaza.
around.
What's
No.
the weather supposed to be?
It's going to be a little bit cold and a little bit drizzly. So
Okay.
it's gonna rain or shine. It's very slight.
And that
I will have the gymnasium ready to go for a limited amount of participants.
and I'm going to paraphrase my wife. That's at the 6th grade school track.
Yeah.
Veterans
Okay.
Field.
Yes.
Yes.
Without further ado, though, I'm hoping that this visit is going to be an annual visit. Ed McKay is running a great job running Norwest here for our special needs residents with his programming. Just remarkable programs that he offers for all of the adults with special needs here in the town. And I don't think enough light gets shined on his programming that he takes place, and our partnership with the other local towns that are part of this organization. So,
Well, why
without
don't you let
further ado,
them
Ed, can
shed
you
some
come on
light?
up?
I have some informational material.
We'll take it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for hosting us, giving us the opportunity to come and talk. Introduce myself. Ed McKay is the director. This is Stefan Rothstein. He's our program coordinator. Both of us started in February of last year, so took over from the prior director who retired out. I was acting as the program coordinator at that point, so Stefan stepped into that role. Norwest has been in partnership with the town of Yorktown for 53 years as of this past April. We were founded as the first of its kind municipal corporation in New York State in 1973. We continue serving the residents of Yorktown with differing abilities and transforming their lives to this day. Our programs are thoughtfully designed to meet the needs of participants ranging in age from school age to 70+ years. And we run programs approximately 40 weeks out of the year, 6 to 7 days per week during that time. Norwest has a well-established footprint here in Yorktown. We run our Special Olympics training program at the Capellini Center, as well as our largest program, adult bowling, at Jefferson Valley Lanes, where we host up to 70 bowlers each week. Additionally, our fundraising group, the Friends of Norwest, will be hosting their 5th annual Bowl-a-thon at JV Lanes on June 20th. Stefan handed out, as part of that, the Bowl-a-thon flyer there, and we invite all of you to come by and check us out.
I'll be there. Me? Yeah. Count me in. You know me.
So yeah, I wanted to invite all of you and come and experience the fantastic outpouring of support that Norwest gets and meet some of our families and participants there. We're looking to expand our exposure here in Yorktown with some new and unique activities. We recently joined the Hudson Valley Gateway Chamber of Commerce, and when I was looking at the events program that they put out, noticed the holiday light parade that's put on here. Jim mentioned the trunk or treat that you do over at the YCC, so we want to definitely be a part of that this year. Our hope is that with more community involvement, we can get the families and the residents of Yorktown who've not been a part of our programming to come on over and enroll. We also facilitate our attendance by providing transportation to some of our programs with our bus fleet, and we do that through central stops at Uncle Giuseppe's parking lot and the BJ's parking lot. So in 2025, the residents in this municipality received 7,477 hours of programming in total. When those hours are divided into the annual contribution amount of $40,000 from the town of Yorktown, that equates to $5.42 per hour of service. Also, although we provide directly recreation to the residents, the way OPWDD, Office of People with Developmental Disabilities, classifies us as a respite program, and we touch a lot more people through the respite we provide to the families for while those people are with us and they don't need to be looked after and cared for. We're always grateful for the continued support of the town. Our request for annual funding increases has not kept pace with the other municipal partners over the last 10 years or so. Norwest is funded through municipal contributions, Medicaid, OPWDD, and donations. Every dollar is critical in helping us to be able to continue to provide the level of programming appropriate to meet the specific needs of our participants. So I wanted to come here and just introduce us and hope that you can keep us in mind when you're working on the budgets going forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
You have anything you want to talk about, the programs?
Yeah. My name's Stefan Rothstein. I'm the program coordinator at Norwest. I started as the program supervisor, so all the activities on that calendar that I passed out, I personally led and supervised all of them. There wasn't a program I wasn't at. We do Special Olympics at the Cappellini Center. We go to the Special Olympics events that get hosted throughout the Hudson Valley. We go to West Point every year for their spring games. We have a cooking program. We have a swim program. Our biggest program is the bowling at JV Lanes. We have, 60-plus participants and a dozen staff working every Thursday there. And we provide services for people of all abilities. So there's higher functioning individuals, and there's individuals who have more profound medical needs, and we provide service for all of them. If you have any questions about specific programming or what we do in general, it's all recreation. And again, we're also respite, so we provide a break for the families who, they usually have to provide 24/7 care to their loved one.
I think that aspect is so incredible. I mean, it's obvious in terms of the wonderful program you've created, but that respite for the caregivers is essential.
A lot of these parents are taking care of their child at 30, 40, 50 years old. It doesn't stop, but we provide a little bit of a break for the family, and we do these fun, incredible activities for the participants.
And you guys have an amazing reputation.
Yeah.
You really do a wonderful thing. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And if you guys need a chaperone for July 12th, talk to Lonnie. Met game.
Met game? Oh, yeah. Every year, that's a tradition.
My focus is elsewhere now.
So.
You guys do a phenomenal
Yeah.
job, and
We
like you
appreciate
said, to give the parents a little downtime is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
I look
Thank
forward
you.
to making sure that your funds are in our 2027 budget.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you, James.
All right. Our next presentation, our 2025 audit review. Alan Cassay with PKF O'Connor Davies.
Well, this is starting to become a tradition with you.
Annual.
How you doing?
Although this is quite possibly your last presentation to us, correct?
Possible. We don't know yet.
Just when I thought I was out, they sucked me back in.
Never know. I don't know for sure.
Okay.
Tobin won't be happy about that.
I'll still be living in Yorktown.
Okay.
As the supervisor pointed out when we had a meeting a few weeks ago, that's why I'm staying in Yorktown, because of the supervisor and the board,
Mm-hmm.
right?
There you go. Yes. Thank you, Alan.
Okay. So tonight we're going to go over
I'll
the
give you that
finan-
$20 later.
All right. The 2025 financial statements, you all should have received a copy of this. I also gave you a handout, which is a synopsis of this rather large report, which we're going to go through. So there's the agenda. We'll go over the opinion that was issued on the financial statements. We'll look at a 3-year fund balance retrospective of the general fund balance. We'll look at the general fund, the overall budget to actual, the revenues, budget to actual in more detail, and the same with the expenditures. And then we'll go over the other governmental funds in a summary. Okay? So what you're looking at here is a synopsis of the independent auditors report, which is about 3 pages long. This is our opinion, and Paraphrasing, it just says we completed the audit of the 2025 financial statements of the town of Yorktown in accordance with the auditing standards generally accepted in the United States of America. The objective was to obtain reasonable assurance that the financial statements are free of material misstatement. As part of the audit, we look at all the estimates that are made by the finance department, and they were all deemed to be reasonable. The scope of the audit was to look at all significant aspects. There's a formula issued by the AICPA that's a materiality formula, and we do that for all the aspects that we consider to be significant areas. And the purpose is to reduce the audit to an acceptable level. Again, our primary focus was not on the individual transactions, but on the overall information that we're opining on. And we did issue what's known as an unmodified or clean opinion. It's the best opinion that you can receive. The full auditor's report is in this book. It's on the first 3 pages after the table of contents. Okay. This is a look at the general fund going back 3 years. And on your left, you have the various categories or buckets, as we sometimes refer to them, that your fund balance is made up of. This actual is in the financial statements on page 55. So from right to left, you have the 2023, 2024, and then 2025. The first column is the first category is the non-spendable. You have prepaid expenditures of $1,023,000. That went up slightly. That's all formula-driven. It's for the employees' retirement and the police retirement systems, because you get your bill in December, and 2/3 of it, or 3/4 of it applies to 1 year, and the other portion applies to another year. So you always have a prepaid if you pay it in December, which you always have to, and you get a discount for doing so. The next category are leases. It's the difference between what's deferred and what's a receivable. So that money is basically in the non-spendable. That's almost $400,000. Then you have 2 reserves in the restricted fund balance. One, excuse me, for the employee benefit accrued liability. Those are your compensated absences. That went up from 2023, but it's remained fairly consistent from the prior year. Then you also have $200,000 in pilot tax protection. Okay. Then you have committed fund balance. Now, these funds are committed by the board through a resolution, and they could be basically uncommitted by the board if you so choose. Okay, so this is restricted. The monies could only be used for the purpose that they were established. A committed fund balance, you can reverse the commitment by taking the same action that you used to create it, which was the board resolution. Okay. So in the equipment you have committed for equipment and software. Park improvements went down slightly. The buildings went down by about $220,000. The streetscape landscape went down by $18,000. Contractual, those are all just general contractual. And then the medical and retirement, you have $750,000. Okay. The assigned category, you have your purchases on order, which are encumbrances, which are purchases that were placed prior to the end of the year for which you haven't received the goods or services as of the end of the year. So that's $232,000. Then you've taken money out of your unassigned fund balance, $1,500,000, and used it to balance your 2026 budget. Last year it was $1,425,000. You increased it to $1,005,000. And then you've also assigned $529,000 for tax certiorari payments. Okay? That your total assigned is almost $2.3 million, which is fairly consistent with the prior year and slightly less than in 2023. Then you have your unassigned fund balance of $24,073,000, which has been consistent for the past 3 years, and that's about 60-some-odd% of your 2026 appropriations in your budget. Okay? So your total fund balance is $35,642,000. All right? Any questions? Okay.
Well, I'll wait until you've done everything. Then
Okay. Okay. The next page, this is a summary of the general fund budget to actual. Going left to right, you have the original budget, the final budget, the actual, and then the variance with the final budget, both positive and negative. On the revenues, the original budget was 34.6 million, the final budget remained the same. The actual came in at almost 38 million, generating a positive budgetary variance of 3,400,000. Your revenues are actually down 1.7% from the prior year, and that was mostly in the federal aid because you received the ARPA money, which was basically had to have been spent, and that was all recognized last year, and there was minimal amount this year. So that pretty much accounted for the decrease. The expenditures, again, the original budget was 38.5 million. It went up slightly to 40,042,000. The actual came in at 36,720,000, which is up about 728,000 or 2% from the prior year. And that generated a positive budgetary variance of 3,321,000. Then you have your excess of revenues over expenditures, and the actual is 1,256,000. Then you have your other financing sources and uses, which your transfers in, your transfers out, and so forth. There's more detail on that to come. That was 2.5 million. So the net change in fund balance, the third number up from the bottom in the actual column, was a shortfall of 1,284,000. So when you add that to the fund balance at the beginning of the year of 36,926,000, you end the year with a total fund balance of 35,642,000. Now this is the detail of the general fund revenues, budget to actual. Again, the format is the same. You have the original budget, the final budget, the actual, and then the variance. I'll just point out some of the larger variances. The real property tax was a shortfall of 345,000. We do a calculation based on uncollected taxes because you can only recognize the tax revenue that's collected within the first 60 days of the year end. So any uncollected taxes, there's a formula to calculate it. And this is only a timing difference. The money will be collected. So it's really not, your full tax bill will be collected. The next item is the non-property taxes. There's 11,137,000, and that generated a positive variance of almost 1.4 million, and that was from the sales tax distribution from the county. Below that, 2 lines below that, is the use of money in property. Came in at almost $3 million, and that generated a positive variance of $720,000, and that's from the interest earnings. It's a little less than the prior year because the interest rates were cut at some point earlier in the year, but you're still fairly, well in terms of what you've received. The license and permits came in at $1,841,000, generating a positive variance of $372,000, and that was primarily from the building permits, still strong. And then the state aid came in at almost 1.6 million, generating a positive variance of 365,000, and that was from mortgage tax, which was up 300,000 from the prior year. Okay? Now, part of the reason for all these large variances is when you do your budget, when you prepare your budget, you budget the revenues very conservatively, which is what's recommended to do. Reason being, aside from your real property taxes, there's no control over any of the other revenues. If the interest rates go up, you'll get more money. If they go down, you're gonna get less money. If there's a downturn in the economy, the sales tax may drop. State aid may be cut. So all those other revenue sources, excuse me, you basically have no control over. So budgeting on a conservative basis, which is what you do, is recommended, and it's a good thing. Okay?
And that's what we have here.
Pardon me?
And that's what we have here.
Exactly.
I knew it, I just wanted to hear it from you. I love hearing that when we're fiscally responsible, so.
That you are fiscally responsible.
Thank you so much.
The next slide, we have the general fund budget to actual, the expenditures. Again, the format's the same, and I'll just point out some of the larger variances. The first category is general government support, generated a positive variance of $922,000, and that was you had budgeted about 600,000 more for property tax refunds. So basically, again, it could be a timing difference, but there was a positive variance in the general government support for that area. The public safety had a positive variance of $1,058,000, and that was from the police department. It was up, the actual expenditures were up about $691,000 from the prior year, but again, based on your budgeting, you were able to generate a positive variance. And lastly, the employee benefits, the actual for all the benefits was $7.7 million, and you had a positive variance of almost $1.1 million, and that was from the state and the police retirement, the employee retirement system and the police retirement system. That was where the savings occurred. Okay?
And that's because there were
Pardon me?
basically unfilled positions, so we saved on the salaries, and then we saved on the pensions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the next page, this is just a summary of your other major funds, the highway fund. For the year, it had a short net change in fund balance. The third number up from the bottom came a little bit short of $135,000, but you still have a fairly healthy fund balance of $3.3 million. The special district funds, and if you look to the bottom of the page on the left, you'll see the various special districts, the water districts, sewer, refuse, park, and the advanced life support district. These are the fund balances in all those individual districts, and the total fund balance is $11.5 million. The capital projects fund, there were no revenues in the current year. You had expenditures or capital outlay, meaning you spent monies on various capital projects to the tune of $4.3 million, and other financing sources of $4.2 million. So the fund balance was decreased by $82,000, and the ending fund balance is $110,000. Okay. And then you have your non-major governmental funds. Again, on the bottom of the page, on the right side, you have the Community Development Fund, the Public Library, the Special Purpose, which are trusts, and the Debt Service Fund. Okay. Now, each one of these funds have their own presentation in here. The Highway Fund is on page 71. The Special Districts start on page 74. Capital is on 94, and the non-major on 98. Okay? And then to summarize, we issued an unmodified clean opinion. You also received another report for the letter charged to those with governance, known as the management letter, which looks like this. Okay, basically, this is where, if there were any significant deficiencies or material weaknesses, that's where they would go, but there were none. There were a few minor control deficiencies, which I'm sure you've all read. Basically, those are deficiencies that should be brought to the attention of the board and rectified when they can do so. Okay. Below that, of the various new GASB, Government Accounting Standards Boards, they issue all the pronouncements that determine what actually goes into the financial statements. You issued the one for compensated absences last year. This year, there is a new one for certain risk disclosures. You were not affected by this. There's a footnote in there, note 2, that discusses what it's all about, but there's no impact on the financials. And then coming up next year, there's a financial reporting model improvements, which is basically primarily dealing with the management discussion and analysis, the format. And then you have a disclosure of certain capital assets also will be next year. And that's it. So overall, the town had a good year. I'd like to thank Janelle and her finance department for their cooperation. They were prepared, everything was in order. They were timely with our questions, and the order went very smoothly.
Did a great
Great.
job, Alan.
Thank you.
Alan, I just want to ask you, I'm delighted that we're in a good financial situation. I'd like to ask a question about the unassigned fund balance, which you said is 24 million, that's 64%. I know from sitting through many, many presentations that there's no state requirement as to what percentage the municipality is mandated to have. I think I've heard over time 20% is a comfortable amount, maybe more. My question is, we have a lot of deferred major capital projects, and would it be fiscally sound? I have been calling for a capital plan, a 5-year capital plan that we lay out things. For example, we have a problem in our court with the HVAC system, all right, which is going to cost money, and we've been putting that off. I think there's like a $270-something thousand expenditure resolution for a piece of equipment in the highway department. I'm not questioning the need for the equipment, but plan out how to use if we want to take 2 million, 5 million, besides what we add to the budget to lower the tax rate. We've been taking like 1.5 million. Would it be comfortable to spend a little bit more of that fund balance, and would we still be fiscally very conservative to just reduce that by some amount and move ahead with some of our projects? Put more money into road paving, fix our culverts. The highway superintendent has said we have some culverts that are possibly going to be collapsing if we don't get to them sooner than later. It always costs more money when we do it later. So I'm just asking you again, having heard you so often talk about the percentage of what we should keep, we look to you as our auditor for some general guidance.
Well, let's put it this way. You have unassigned fund balance, which you can utilize for capital projects. On page 96 and 97 in the financials is a listing of all your authorized projects that you've so far laid out money for and generated revenues either through state aid or transfers or bonds, whatever the case may be. If you utilize the unassigned fund balance, obviously this is a board decision, okay? There's a few savings involved. You don't have to, if you use the fund balance instead of issuing debt, either serial bonds or short-term bond anticipation notes, you would save the issuance costs and you would save the interest on the debt. Okay, so that's
Plus not having it dealing with the tax cap.
Pardon me?
Plus not having additional debt service in the budget,
Right,
which
it'll
affects
affect the tax cap and so forth. I mean, there's, that's why everything has to be considered, okay?
I don't think we've taken any bans lately for for any of that, anything in general. So I guess what Susan's asking is, are we too high, too low, right in the middle?
I mean, in the current year, you transferred in almost $4.2 million.
Right.
Okay, so that came from probably the general fund, maybe some from the highway fund, but a lot of that money was basically what you used your capital projects fund, to get the work done instead of borrowing.
But we
issuing
also
debt.
had unexpected ARPA money. We had $3.7 million of ARPA, which hopefully we won't get again, because
No,
hopefully...
that's a one-shot.
one-shot deal.
You're not getting ARPA again.
No more COVID.
Well, I know that
sincerely doubt. You never say never, but it's unlikely.
I know that our engineering department is already looking at the culvert. We've identified some expenditures, and we do this every year. I think that one of the things that you realize in municipal government, things turn around, and what's the old saying? Men plan and God laughs. So
Moses, God disposes.
But it is recommended to have some municipalities have a 5-year capital plan.
Yeah.
Because obviously, the costs of some of these plants,
Keep going
sewer
up.
and water projects are exorbitant. Okay, and planning is required to get it done timely.
And then if you're seeking grants, you need to have matching
Exactly.
available,
Right.
funds available.
Do you want to get
So-
state
Can I ask
aid
a
or
question?
whatever?
Can I ask you a question with respect to highway?
Certainly.
All right, 3.35, I think you said, million that I have in fund balance, which is roughly 46% of my general budget. So my question to you is, since this is what you do for a living, I think it shouldn't be a hard one for you. What do you recommend, to Susan's point, that I keep in my fund balance? Now, I was always told from 14 years ago when I was on the board that it was 10%, then it went to 15%, then it went to 20%. What is it? What is it that
There-
we are supposed to have in abeyance for a rainy day fund?
There is no set amount. There really isn't.
Oh, come on.
There is no
I
set
might have been
amount.
born at night, but it wasn't last night.
There is no
You
set
have,
amount.
you do this for multiple municipalities.
Yes,
You
I
have
do.
to have a rough idea. I know you don't want to commit, I see that.
Every municipality is different. Every municipality's needs are different. Okay? Some municipalities, they may need more paving than another one. They need more road work.
Well, that's
They
the
need
point. The
more
point is I
culverts.
want to know what I can spend and still be within the realm of reality in terms of what I should have in my fund balance.
Well, let's
40,
put-
46,
if you-
48%.
If you looked at your financials,
unrealistic.
if you looked at your current year financial statement, which is on page 72, your expenditures for the current year are almost $9 million, okay? And that was all, highway costs, and there was $844,000 related to employee benefits. So you could basically, it's $1 million, okay, out of the $9 million. So you're raising property taxes of 6.3 million, okay? So if the economy fell short and you couldn't increase the taxes and you would need the fund balance, okay? I personally believe that unless the fund balance is ridiculously excessive, it's always better to have it for a rainy day.
Okay.
And there is, in all honesty, there is a lot of municipalities establish a fund balance policy where they limit the amount that they will keep in unassigned, and they either generate it by raising taxes if it falls short, cut expenses. I mean, it's a simple formula. You have your revenues, your expenses, and your fund balance. So if your expenses go up drastically and you keep your taxes flat, and all your revenues come in flat, your fund balance is going to go down. Okay? So, I mean, a lot of this is based on the policy of the board, what you choose to do, what you feel comfortable doing. The state may give you a recommendation.
State controller.
The state controller, they may say, the school districts are the only municipalities in the state that are limited to the amount of unassigned fund balance they could have. They're limited to 4%. Years ago, it was 2%. Then they finally increased it. But if you look at the reserves that the school districts have, I mean, their reserves are probably $25 million, some of them.
Never had a budget that didn't pass.
Yeah,
There's a few that I think there were 2 that didn't pass this year.
There are also other benefits to having a healthy fund balance. It collects interest, doesn't it? I mean, we
Yeah,
get,
the cash is-
we get revenue from it, right?
Right, and
So what do-
your
what do you-
interest earnings,
Do you know what the revenue was, the interest earnings was on our fund balance for 2025? I think it was like
well, it was all your cash throughout the year, I couldn't tell you what that is. I mean, you
Right.
could take your fund balance at the beginning of the year, the end of the year.
Moving target.
Take an average times the interest rate, and that'll be a rough calculation.
So Alan, real quick, Susan's trying to say, are we extremely high on our fund balance?
Let's
Are we
put it,
extremely
compared to
high?
the other municipalities that I do, no.
Okay. I think that was the crux of her
Well,
thing
the
was,
point is,
I mean,
if we
it's not
have-
excessively high. It's,
Well, as I
it's-
said, it's the board has to
healthy.
decide how they want to utilize it. As I said, if you decide to utilize the unassigned fund balance for capital projects instead of borrowing, there's a savings to be had. Again, at the tax cap and so forth, but there is a savings. The issuance costs on a large borrowing could be a couple of $100,000, and the interest, depending on the interest rates.
it's always best if you could pay it outright. I mean, that's just a basic tenet, even from a, a town the size of Yorktown to a house the size of my house. It's just, I think, a basic underlying tenet
Exactly.
of
Exactly.
good
Another-
accounting.
But the other option is, it's not just fund balance or borrowing. The issue is using the fund balance. Yes, sitting on it does generate interest. Absolutely, that's a plus. But when we delay a major project that we know is needed, that only ends up costing us more later, and while we put Band-Aids on in the meantime, like we have unfortunately done, and we're catching up, I think we've learned the lesson, and we've put money in to fix up the pool, the Shrub Oak Pool. It's costing roughly $1 million.
But unfortunately, you are cherry picking certain instances, certain situations. This is a very big town. The fund balance that we have at the unassigned fund balance at $24 million is not enough to complete every project. So when you cherry pick and say, well, you see, this one didn't get done, there are projects that did get done, that we did use
There's a lot that got
fund
done.
balance. There's a lot of things going on. And so it's disingenuous to say, well, we didn't do this because we delayed, and there's always this divisive, rhetoric that comes from you, but it's not accurate, because you're leaving out significant things that we have done.
And you still have to leave yourself a reserve, no matter what.
It's 100% accurate.
And a perfect example was when I left office as supervisor, the town was in wonderful shape because when COVID hit, and had we not been fiscally responsible during the 2 years prior, or the years prior, we would have been in rough shape, because we did not have to cut one iota in terms of the service to the town during the COVID years.
The other thing I'd like to point out, one other thing, when you utilize fund balance, it's always important to regenerate it. Okay, because we've had municipalities where instead of raising taxes or spending on this or that, you're appropriating $1.5 million, where they appropriated significantly more for a few years in a row.
That's bad.
And for a few years in a row, they had shortfalls in their net change in fund balance. So after 3, 4, 5 years, their
There's no
excess
fund
fund balance was zero.
Yeah.
Okay, and they're in a negative fund
Well,
balance.
I will say, much to Lonnie's point, I know there was a point when I started on the board that the fund balance was pretty low, and between Michael, Lonnie, Matt, Tommy, then even a couple years with me, we've built that money up. We've had some great work by our department heads, have really made sure that we could buckle down, and they tighten the belt and do what's needed. And in COVID, I know we cut expenditures and made sure that we did things. Our workforce took a hit that first year of COVID. They went without an increase in their budget or in their salaries, and everyone really chipped in for the good of the town. And I think that we've had that, because I go back through paving, and we're like $1 million, $1.2 million, $1.4 million, $1.5 million just on our paving, not counting chips and the other money. Where there were years I look back at the budget going back 14, 15, 16 years where it was zero.
That guy at Highway, man, he's brutal.
Well, also,
I don't know. I don't see no $1.5 million. I can tell you that much.
Dave,
I see $1 million.
I'm sure Dave
What
will.
about the extra money, Dave?
Oh.
Don't forget. There was 1 year 2.5, I think.
We're talking about the last 2 years. We're not talking about 5 years ago.
So Lonnie,
3 years.
No, I'm sure that Dave will agree with me. There's no way of predicting how
We
much
budgeted
snow,
$1 million for paving.
but also how much for snow and how much for salt. I mean,
That's
that's you
exactly-
never
that's
know.
it.
You never know.
Overtime, yeah.
All right, I just want to
COVID
go.
was a rainy day, you get a blizzard, a series of this past winter
That's right.
was brutal. I'm sure, compared to the last 2 or 3 years prior to that.
Yep.
The salt and the plowing expenses were probably minimal.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get this, so
Yeah, we got crushed
there
this
is
year.
a need
I
for
will
rain
say this.
funds.
I appreciate the fact that the town board does utilize, in the interest of keeping the tax rate down, we don't increase our revenue line, our expense lines every year. They've been static for God knows how many years. But whenever there's an emergency, such as salt this year, such as overtime this year, such as a multitude of different things that come up, they never hesitate to go into fund balance and make the highway department whole, even though it's a separate fund.
Right.
Well, it's a need. It's the residents. It's a need for the residents.
it's a public
and it's our
safety issue.
responsibility.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that's it.
Yeah, I just.
I got a question.
And I think we will be seeing some, I'm sure you'll be coming to us with some paving now that you've seen us. I already know how you operate. and
Next
I
time,
know
don't
when
give
you-
Dave a copy.
I just want to
Yeah, Susan's got a
clarify
question.
to your point, Sergio, because I think you're misrepresenting as to, you say I misrepresent, I say you
I know, you
misrepresent.
gotta
We
get
go
me
back and forth.
I know, go ahead.
I'm saying we need a capital plan. We have to take the projects in the back of the book, the lengthy list that different department heads have identified, and we have to prioritize and say this year, if we think we can spend 5 million, whatever number you say is appropriate, and you have to plan out. The way we're doing it, put aside emergencies. That's something, you know, we always would deal with the emergencies. But to plan out expenses, we did unexpectedly, what was it, like about $1 million for the police software. It came up in November, we had to vote for it in December. I'm not questioning the value of that. I'm just saying it was not planned. We have $243,000 here for a piece of equipment. I'm not questioning the piece of equipment, but it's not planned. If we have a plan, then we know what we're spending. We have had on the streetscape $1 million for how many years as committed, and we never get around to doing it.
And we're working on it, but what you're misrepresenting is,
I'm not
are we or are we not working on a capital plan as we speak?
No, you're not.
Yes, we are. We
Well,
have it
I
on.
haven't
We
seen
have
it.
it on. Because it's not done inside of 30 seconds because you decide that that happens to be the number one priority in the world. Doesn't mean it's not getting done. Doesn't mean we're not working on it. We actually had discussions here in
There's a
public.
committee.
On this. We've had, excuse me.
The culverts in
We've
particular.
had discussions right here on this dais in public. But you know, you left that part out, hence the misrepresentation and the divisive rhetoric that seems to be always coming from you. We're all working on the same thing. And I understand you want to have a capital plan. But if you think and if you believe that the capital plan is going to account for everything, that we're going to have a capital plan set for next year, and that there's not going to be one thing that varies from our capital plan because equipment never breaks down, because it never snows extra, because it's never more icier, because these are things that happen. These are dynamic things that happen in a town the size of Yorktown. So for you to cherry pick once again and say, oh, well, you know, we have this 243,000 piece of equipment, that is going to happen whether you have a capital plan or not, because you cannot ever account for everything.
One thing I would.
And if you can, then please account for the lotto numbers for tomorrow, because I will go and play the lotto, and then what I will do is I will fund the fund balance. You
It
see
depends
that?
how much you win.
Well, that depends, exactly. So let me ask you a question. You said you were retiring, right?
Possibly.
Possibly. When you retire, how much joy will you get out of never having to use GASB again, the term GASB?
Oh, that.
Is that going to be like something that brings a smile to you?
Well,
Like you
they're-
don't have to ever think about it
They're
and use it
coming
again?
out with another one, which I definitely will retire when that comes out, where they're changing the whole financial statement, so
I know.
I'm not going to be around for that.
I would
but
also-
And actually, I just want to say the advantage of fund balance. Susan mentioned the police software upgrade, and that wasn't on a plan because it wasn't even on the radar. It just said over a few month period, people started to drop off of the whatever system they were on.
The existing system.
Yep, and then this new system came in, and every one of the police departments in the area started going to it. And Bob, as you pointed out, we found out about it in October because Bob went to a conference, and they put that out. And that is, I think Sergio's point, there will never not be a deviation in the things we plan for versus the things.
The deviations don't obviate the need for a plan. A plan is always.
You can-
So I'm looking forward. You said you're working on a plan. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Let's end the discussion. Let Alan go home.
We had discussions here about working on it. I don't know where you've
I
been.
don't- I don't-
You
I-
hear it every
We
day.
can have a
maybe
plan,
not
but
been
also
here.
have a reserve for
Yes.
unexpected and to
And
to
then
to
to
the
bump
point.
up when we can.
And to the point, it was raised just now that we haven't addressed the HVAC. It's on the agenda tonight.
Yeah.
So
We have been, and it was
we
on the
have been-
agenda
yes.
before.
and we're rebidding.
Right.
So we have been dealing with
Thank
these
you,
issues.
We're doing our job.
You do remember sitting up at that desk,
No
huh?
gas. Once you, I'm going to give you a
Thank you,
direct-
Alan.
Once you retire, when that is, you can never say GASB again.
Okay.
Never.
Only
Alan,
other
thank you
people
so much.
realize
You're
that.
very welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you in the neighborhood.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you.
All right,
Alan.
now we have discussion 2. 1776 Foothill Street. Anyone from 1776 Foothill?
37.
3776.
3776, sorry.
Close enough.
Yeah. Close enough for government work after
Dan
all
here?
that? Heather, why don't you come up, tell us about it, because I think they're pretty much there with what we got in.
Ready, look.
I saw something come through, I think it was from, was it Conservation that had the
Yes,
question?
so it's actually down on the updated agenda as a resolution.
Right.
Yes.
So just tell us where we're at so everyone is up to speed.
Yes, so the planning board gave a new letter to say that they're satisfied, so we don't have any other issues, so the resolution.
And it's a single-family home, right?
Yes, it's a single-family home, but because it's state wetlands, that's why it's with you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good discussion. Thank you.
Great job, Heather.
Dan
but
would have
sweet.
been here for 20 minutes.
Paul, you have about half the time Heather had.
Got a lot of notes, I don't know.
Extension to your Yorktown Consolidated Water District.
Yes. So we're looking to increase the boundary to add 82 Yorktown residential homes, 77 of which pay out-of-district rates. The other 5 have the ability to tap the main on Hanover for Cat Hill. The 77 residents that pay out of district pay double the rate, but yet they're still Yorktown residents. So what we're trying to do is change the rate to the single rate. It'll give them I think the number was like $200-something a year savings in the water bill.
So they're paying more than
paying double the rate.
than their neighbor.
They're paying double the rate.
Yeah.
People across the
Remember,
street
we
are
gotta fix
paying, right, single rate. In White Horse Lane, across the street, they're paying the 71.10 per 9,000, and White Horse Lane's paying 142 and change. So.
Okay.
So what happened was when these systems were built, they weren't part of the town. We're at a point where we're looking to absorb them in and help them out.
Yes.
Okay, any questions?
This is
And
just
thank
the
you for
paper
taking
thing.
care of this, because it's a question of equity. And
Yep.
it's,
Yeah,
makes sense.
Absolutely,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Equity or
I
equality?
think most of
Just
those
equality.
72
Yeah.
are in Glassberry, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 64 are Glassberry residents. The rest are Croton Heights Road, White Horse Lane, and then, like I said, there's 5 on Hanover that have the ability to tap the new main that Cat Hill.
If they want to.
Yeah, if they
And-
want.
and
And
that would get
currently,
them
they're
off.
paying revenue where?
Excuse me?
Currently, they're paying revenue to whom?
What do you mean? The
Cat Hill?
They're currently paying, but they're paying double the rate?
Yes, oh, yes, absolutely. The 5 houses on Hanover are not tapped into the water district,
Gotcha.
but have the
They're well.
ability to tap the Cat Hill water main.
Okay.
So what we're trying to do because a few years back, they reached out, a resident reached out because I guess their well is failing.
Okay.
And, that development going in, the ability is there for them to tap that pipe now.
Okay.
So, and if they're out of district, it's like a $10,000 tap fee. So putting them in district would lower the tap fee to
Gotcha.
$1,200.
Okay.
Good.
So do we need to get into anything there? Where we?
Yeah, your resolution's already on the agenda down bottom.
Good talk, Paul.
Perfect. Not quite as short as
Well,
Heather, but.
twice as much as Heather.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Paul.
All right, we already did our personnel. So let's jump to our resolutions.
Resolutions.
From the Finance Department, authorize the town supervisor to execute change order number 2 with INF Associates for installation of EV charging stations at John C. Hart Memorial Library in the amount of $56,367. I actually have a question on that, Janelle, that I meant to ask you. Can you come up to the mic? I'm sorry. So this was part of the grant program through the county and and Con Ed, correct? It was their contractors on the job as part of the grant, or did we?
All through Westchester County, so yeah.
All right.
I only took over recently because originally Yvonne was doing it.
Right.
But then when we realized that
She couldn't-
it's general fund, it's not library fund, she really should have been managing it. So finance handles all the utilities, so we kind of got
Into it
kinda
late.
came into the finance department.
So, but my question,
So I've been dealing with, they're called INF Associates, so they're the contractor that was hired by the county to run the,
The one problem I got with this is, you know, with INF Associates, it's, you know, they say upon inspection, Con Ed, it was determined that additional work is required, and that the additional work would be
the 56.
a slotted precast property line box as required by Con Ed. Why didn't INF Associates know that this was required by
Well,
Con
they
Ed? I mean, it's
had,
not a
well,
mystery.
if you, the email that they sent to me was that they had the original plans, they did the work, the scope of work, which it was set and it was all approved. And then when they had the inspection, Con Ed came out and then
I'm just saying,
needed,
you
needed to
hire-
have it changed.
You hire a professional firm because of their knowledge, their experience, their expertise.
Correct.
This looks like it's a standard thing that should have been there the whole time. How did
Yeah.
they miss it? And now it's $56,000.
I wonder.
That's the problem I have with the whole thing. But
So, Janelle, do you
I mean,
think
if
we
you don't-
could go to the county and say, these were your people, this was your bid?
Mm-hmm.
They should have known going inside, this was your plans.
It's still, it's the whole 56,000 is not coming back to us because how it works, the grant is, so it originally was 100,000. Then we changed it on our own to move it over to the library. That cost an additional 30. And now with the 56, so now it's up to like, I think 180 something. So then it's Con Ed pays directly to INF. It's all in that, oh, no, I think I sent it to you separately, but it had, or it's in the agreement when I sent it to you, to Ed separately. 54,000 directly comes from Con Ed to INF. Then
the 56?
yeah, like, or 54,000 is like some rebate.
Oh.
And then the difference is split 50-50. So our original portion was like $14,000 that we needed to fund. But we have to move this money completely to the capital project for the entire cost, and then we'll get the grant money back.
Perfect.
So, but besides the 14, I think now it's up,
happy now.
yeah, so now it's up to, I mean, it's still more because you're taking the 56, adding it in, dividing it by the 50, and reducing the 54,000.
I got you.
So we don't have to eat that whole cost. It's just part of the calculation that I need to fund it, and then eventually we'll get a grant reimbursement back for partial of it.
So INF
Well,
does this
and
all
the
the time at Con Ed.
Well, hopefully Ken's not watching our meetings,
But the
because I'm
par-
gonna knock on his door about this.
Yeah, and that, you know, and it also interrupts Yvonne in the library when they come back to do the work. They have to do it
On the weekend.
either on the weekend, or now we're going to do it overnight because they have to shut down the electrical power. So, yeah. So
I think Lonnie had a question.
Yeah, but the partial is significant in terms of when you say we'll get back a part.
oh yes,
I mean,
yeah.
we-
Like I said, originally it was I think the amount that it would cost
14.
us was 14.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aren't we absorbing the cost of moving it, though?
Well, that we
The
were.
30 was already in there, so with the 14 that we're getting back was yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So with the scope of this project, they're putting in the EV stations out
still
there.
don't know how they missed
If one of those EV stations, say, blows a fuse, it takes down the whole library.
No. So
Is there two different panels?
yeah, so what we did is because it's at the library and the library is its own fund, we can't commingle. So we either had the choice to incorporate it into general fund, which I didn't want to do because we want to be able to track the costs. So we can also set up an enterprise fund, which is basically a self-sustaining fund. So the capital project costs will be in the capital project, which then we'll get reimbursed. But the ongoing costs, whatever we get from revenue, will go into this fund. And then the maintenance costs, because we'll have to have a maintenance contract with INF. And then
I was just more
whatever
concerned
the
about.
cost, no, and then all the costs for the electricity. So when Con Ed turns on the power, because we have PASNY, which has a cheaper rate than Con Ed, once the electrical is finalized, we'll switch it over to our PASNY account, and it's on a separate grid, so that way when we get the bill, everything will be in that one fund, and we will be able to track and see whether or not that this was a
Yeah, but I was
sustainable
just worried about
project
it.
for us, whether or not we're gonna be losing money or making money on having the,
I wasn't even worried about
charging
the money
stations
part of it. I was worried about if there's a blackout or a power outage on there, it doesn't affect the
Oh,
building.
no, it's gonna be it's two separate.
That's-
right?
that's
Yeah,
what my
two
point
separate
was, yeah.
meters and the
You don't want the
costs will-
library going
the
down
costs-
because,
Oh, yeah, because something something happened.
overcharged or
Everybody's got a
something.
cheaper
Thank
rate
you.
than Con Ed.
Yeah. While I'm up here, can I take a quick opportunity just to answer maybe Susan's question a little bit about?
Sure.
I just wanted to kind of go over where you were saying that about us using the fund balance to fund the capital projects. So this year alone, or not this year, 2025, we just did the audit, is from the original budget, we brought in $6.93 million from fund balance. So the split out for that was 1.449 was within the general fund. So really, when you look at your numbers, your revenue and your expenses, it's because they're already part of those numbers, because it's general fund. So like, we did projects for the digital sign, the PD got motorcycles, Parks had a backstop that got damaged, we had workers' comps claims, we transferred highway trucks, the east of Hudson, Central Garage needed a new heater, we had a website upgrade, we had our Windows 11 upgrade, we had changes to the budget because we had to pay salaries for the recreation staff once we increased the rates. The PD got stairs put in. We had PD, another grant that we had to fund. We had Parks and Rec professional services for the pool. Section 8, we had to increase the funding when you guys decided whatever, for the funding for the medical, the Revolutionary War Memorial, and then Granite Knolls, the lights. So that came out to 1.4 million. And then the difference that we transferred out that Alan was talking about, the $4 million, because those get transferred out to two different funds. We gave highway $542,000, and then capital projects was $3.5 million. So you talk about those capital projects that we work on, those are in the budget. Basically, the pool renovation, old compound, the culvert, the digital signs, the sensory garden, Route 118, the intersection. The YCC had their stone repair done for their outside of the building. And then we just started the streetscape, which was for the engineering project. So $7 million. Really, when you look at the budget, we had the one-time additional revenues for the sales tax, which Alan said, and the interest, $3 million. All the departments had about $3 million savings because of we were working on reduced staff, so our pension costs came in less, our medical came in less, our salaries came in less. That money is basically reinvested and given back to the taxpayers with all the projects that are in that capital plan. So it works.
Sounds like we've been doing a
It
lot.
works exactly how it's supposed to. And again, $7 million of projects that we gave back to. So there's only so much you can do in a year. And when you take that $7 million, so now like say I start with $24 million in the fund balance, I just took out $7 million. I'm down now to $17,000. I still
17
need
million.
17 million, sorry. 17 million, like,
Yeah,
And Aruba.
like Dave is
Just had a heart
asking,
attack.
well, Dave is asking, what do you use as your balance? We use 20%. We don't want to go below 20%, which for our fund balance for general is $8 million. That's not that much difference. You also have to remember, we need to keep money in there. I collect over 200 and something million dollars for the schools. We have to pay them in full. So if we don't collect on that, we have to pay for that until it comes like through delinquent taxes alone. Right there is, I think we're up to like $4 million in delinquent taxes. So take that out there. The $1 million that you're talking about that we're gonna do for the police department, you guys voted on that, but that hasn't been taken out yet. So that's not even reduced from here. Everything that like we talk about, like we kind of keep like a little tally, really that difference is pretty much already gone. But thank God we
So the
don't have the staff right now to do everything all at the same time.
So the
at least it gives
65%.
us time to replenish the fund balance.
So the 65% is really closer to probably 45%. or something
Or
like
lower.
that,
No,
or
but
lower.
she's talking about what was already expended,
Yeah.
what was already
No, but,
expended.
What
but in
she's talking
terms
about, this number we just got today is as of December 31st,
31st, right.
2025.
And from now, I've already, this year, out of fund balance for a general fund, I've already spent like $4 million. And like I said, there's other projects. Jim is working on I think it's the paving, the $500,000. Like, there's projects that we're working on.
The volleyball courts.
The
there's a ton of
volleyball,
stuff.
yeah, all the
there's-
things
there's
that
a
we're,
ton of
all the
projects that
capital
we are working
projects
on.
that we're working on, they're, they're gonna come out of there.
Well-
And this year, like I said, I mean, I know that we keep saying, oh, that it's gonna run out, but when you look at, when we're fully staffed now, we're not gonna have this year for 2026, we're almost fully staffed, so we will not have those kinds of savings. And if the interest rates go down, we're not gonna have the extra revenue, so we're really gonna be coming more to a balanced budget. And if we do keep spending out of fund balance to do these projects, but don't replenish it, like Alan said, it's gonna reduce down, and then we're not gonna have it when we need it to do something.
Okay, thank you, Janelle.
Thank you.
Thank you, Janelle.
Thank you for the summary. I mean, it sounds like, there's so many things that are getting done and we've done so much. And I appreciate the list. I'd actually like a copy of the list. I'm gonna put it over here. I'm gonna put it in a frame. I'm gonna put it over here because, just in case we hear, false
So
things
we're
again.
authorize the town supervisor to execute the change order number 2 with INF Associates, as we spoke, and then authorize the town controller to make the following budget transfers enumerated below. Authorize the town supervisor to sign agreement with the County of Westchester Department of Senior Program and Services to fund 2 nutrition programs as enumerated below. Authorize the town supervisor to sign a regional kitchen agreement to support WIN and NSIP programs for the town of Cortland as enumerated below. Authorize the town comptroller to process budget transfer to be reimbursed by additional funding from New York State, and that is some additional paving money through fund balance and CHIPS. Let's see, from the maintenance department, authorized bid to be advertised for construction of a ramp and portico at the Yorktown Town Hall. And that's to fix a ramp outside that got hit and also do a portico over the front so we're a little protected in the weather coming in. From the engineering department, authorize a town comptroller to release erosion control bond in the amount of $500 to Ms. Ashley Harris. Authorize rebid for town justice court HVAC installations.
Can you explain why the bid was rejected, the first bid?
Yep, so there's supposed to be a response time on the original bid that wasn't there. And we do believe that the lowest bidder, but based by the price, was not a responsible bidder. The price was too low just based on the equipment that was being ordered and needing to pay prevailing wage. So I'd like to put it out again.
What happened to the next lowest bidder?
Oh, it was like $100,000 difference.
Yeah,
And
but so you thought that wasn't reasonable?
I think that we should rebid it, and we'll see a little better than drop $100,000 extra.
No, it was
I
missing
think.
information anyway, right? You
Yeah.
said it was
Well,
missing
there was the one bid we're not sure about.
Oh, okay.
So
Because I was in the court today, and they have some temporary things, and people were still fanning themselves. So whatever the temporary thing is.
Yes, thank you, Mike. I was going to say, bring him here. Mike had his hood up, and
Yeah, I'm freezing.
I think we could hang meat in the room. And
I'm freezing too, Mike. Mike, I am freezing cold right now.
Like the Unabomber.
Oh my goodness.
So,
my town hall sweater.
but we're going to rebid that with a shorter window, since all the questions are now answered, and get that out
It
there.
probably won't get. Hopefully, with a good bid, it won't get installed until after the summer.
No, I think we should be there right for the dog days of the summer. We'll be in.
Hopefully.
Because we're going to mini splits instead of the big systems, which cost a lot more and take a tremendous amount of maintenance. So with the heat pumps and the mini splits, it'll be a much better solution.
It's the same basics.
Sarah just gave a thumbs up. Thank you, Sarah.
We did at Highway.
Yeah, it works a lot better, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yep. We did that in Highway already too. So, Approve Plotkin Tree and Wetland and Stormwater Management and Erosion and Sediment Control Permit, 3766 Foothill Street that we spoke about. That's permit number TWPFSWPPP 028-25. Let's see. From the, that's actually the same ones I read already. Let me turn the page instead of just flipping the paper.
Page 6.
Yep.
Page 8, we're up to.
Wow,
Keep going.
that's long, that's
Keep going.
long.
One more.
I'm surprised Dan didn't leave this for me to read in.
It looks like something he wrote. It's 5 pages.
It was only 4, so maybe Heather wrote that one.
Oh my God.
Approve the Trump Park Residence Wetland Permit number WP051-23, Town of Yorktown, New York. Bum, 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 bum.
Page 8.
Guys are killing trees. From the Highway Department, authorize the Highway Superintendent to execute documents to procure municipal waste reduction and recycling program grant in the amount of $301,966.
All right.
And that is for the Beast, Dave?
That is for the Beast that, when I applied for that in 2020, I was told, why are you applying for it so far in advance? You're never going to get it. I said, if you're not in it, you can't win it.
I say
the
that all the
unfortunate thing was in 2020, a new horizontal grinder was 600,000, and now it's 800,000. To give you an idea of how things change.
Yeah.
In 6 years. But you know what? It's still 300,000 towards it, and the one we have doesn't owe us anything. It's older than time itself.
So the 301,000 is our share.
That's what
No,
we're
that's
getting.
a grant.
All right, that's the grant.
Eight
and
minus 3.
800,000.
Yeah,
Roughly 800.
about-
It was 775 as of last year.
All right. Authorize the Highway Department to purchase a 2026 Freightliner 114 SD triaxle 75,000-pound roll-off hoist in the amount of $243,990.73. And Dave, that is for
Well, that's for,
storm
and it's
controls?
what's excellent is another salesman called me up today and wanted to bring by a truck for us to look at. That was $40,000 more than this, the same exact truck. Same exact truck. So actually, we had a roll-off that my predecessor, Eric, had taken a Packer and turned it into a roll-off. Roll-off is, where the boxes come off the back. So, for instance, we're sweeping streets, we're doing trees. We drop a box here, we drop a box there, and then we pick them up. So then I took another Packer, we turned it into a 10-wheel dump truck. So we do, over the course of time, we always try to utilize things that are within, our availability. But this is unfortunately between the hurricanes in the summer. But look, this past Saturday night we had 6 trees down. I mean, it's absurd, So between the trees, between the hurricanes, between the summer storms, between the winter storms, the roll-off gets you down quick. We had one big tree we took down. It took 5 trips from the north end to the recycling yard at Greenwood Street.
Wow.
Would have been one trip with a roll-off.
You guys do a great job, Dave.
Thank you. Thanks.
All right.
100%.
From the Water Department, authorize the town supervisor to sign a water utility easement agreement with Guiding Eyes for the Blind. From the supervisor's office, authorize following public hearings to be advertised. Proposed local law amending Chapter 102 Affordable Housing, public hearing set for June 16th. Actually, aren't we already there?
We already did.
Yeah, we already-
Yeah, and the moratorium for July 7th? That's already done too, correct?
No, you're doing it July 7th now.
Oh,
The
okay.
16th is just a reminder that we.
All right. Thank you. Proposed local law moratorium, telecommunications, public hearing set for July 7th, 2026. From the town board, proposed establishment of extension to Yorktown Consolidated Water District, public hearing set for, July 7th, 2026. I guess that's contagious, huh, that yawn?
Cut that out.
And I think that is it. May I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
All right, and then Yorktown, have a good evening, as I'll take a motion to adjourn our meeting.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Good evening,
Good night, all.
Yorktown.
Night.